the characters have been created. I think you're right.
Would anybody mind if I turn this next track up? Because it's my favourite, it's Forever and Ever. And I'd like us all to hear it. Anybody mind?
No.
No? Right.
What's it in it? Fickle finger of fate. I mean, if you knew what was going to happen to you and woke up in the morning, you'd never get out of bed. That's life. The old clock ticks, world turns around, tide comes in, tide goes out. You're born, you die, and that's it.
What should Mrs. make at Safeway?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
Well, you don't know what she earns?
Enough, no. Keeps the wolf from the door. That's the bit I make.
We've cut the film. It's absolutely precisely edited. We took it to Paris to show the backers and they loved it. Andrew's composed the music and we're here recording it, and for the next few weeks up to Christmas we'll be dubbing it and doing the final mix, and then there'll be prints to grade in the new year, and by February we'll have the film.
All or Nothing focuses on the lives of several working-class families on a South London council estate, a territory that Leigh first explored at the height of Thatcherism in the 1980s.
Got any money?
No.
What's the matter? Suppose you've blown all yours, have you?
What's it got to do with you?
It's my house, that's what it's got to do with me.
It's my house and all.
It's not your bloody house.
I live here.
Yeah, don't we know it?
I pay part of the rent.
Yeah, well, let's see your jar on that table next Tuesday. No messing.
So you're skint then, are you?
Did you ever feel that you were part of a political drive in the writing of plays for television?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how would you sort of stake out your position now?
Look at my work alongside, not least, Ken Loach's, and the notion of political has an entirely different currency. I defy anybody to walk away from a piece of mine with a very clear singular notion as to the one thing that I'm saying. But there's no question that what I still do, more or less, is to make work about how we live our lives, and to a great extent about ordinary people out there, and to take a camera and look at those lives.
Oi, cheerful. Want a drink?
No, I'm all right.
Get us one, come on, get us scotch.
Hey, mate.
What?
Do you want a drink?
Yeah.
Piss up, you black bastard. Nah, I'm only joking. For the pint of lager?
Yeah, pint of lager.
2 pints of lager, please, love.
3 points.
You ain't getting one.
What?
Because you're an ugly bastard.
Is there sort of almost an evangelical thing about that, Mike? Do you think these people are not looked at enough, have not been looked at enough, and I'm going to turn my talents and energies to that?
In the sense that, it's always attractive and seems important to look where people don't normally look. Yeah, absolutely, sure.
He doesn't believe they're all wonderful people. He does believe they're all worth observing very carefully. He's not a political filmmaker like Ken Loach, but if you were to say there's no politics in his films, that would be ridiculous.
He's a bit big, isn't he?
He was a giant.
No, I mean his head.
He's all right. And what he done was he wrote down the truth. People was being exploited. Industrial revolution, they was forced off the land into the factories. There weren't no working class for them. He set down a program for change.
When you came back into feature films after working in television for those years, what made you... Did High Hopes suggest itself?
Meantime and High Hopes, quite unconsciously, constitute a kind of general reaction to Thatcher's period that we were in. Meantime was about unemployment. High Hopes, we talked about being a socialist, but how could you actually be a Cyril? I mean, what does it mean? I mean, Cyril, the protagonist, has got the problem of, you know, how do you actually manifestly do something about it?
So what is it you do at these meetings?
We discuss things.
Yeah, but what do you actually do?
We talk about things.
So you talk about things. What good's that?
It gets it clear in your brain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when you're out in the street talking to people, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but apart from the yabba, what do you actually do?
We're working towards the revolution.
You're wasting your time then, aren't you?
Well, what do you do?
Sit on the arse.
I don't think I regard him as a political filmmaker, but I do welcome it when he's able to some extent, to let everybody shine when there aren't villains who seem to be put down for their class roots, which has sometimes happened in his films.
How about getting outside with a brush, giving the front of your house a lick of paint, smarten it up a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
And your garden leaves a great deal to be desired. You could have enormous fun out there.
Do you have green fingers?
My husband used to do all that.
Ah.
Where is he now?
He's dead.
Jolly good.
In High Hopes, the yuppie characters seem to me treated with a very broad brush compared to the others.
We could have gone much further, because the research that David Bamber and I were doing threw up complete monsters.
What made this country great was a place for everyone, and everyone in his place. And this is my place.
Yeah.
Fascist.
No, it's not, is he?
Critics still routinely quiz Leigh about the use of caricature in his first features. It's a criticism he's always rejected.
I don't think there are any caricatures in High Hopes. That's to say, I don't think that there are people who are not characters who don't read and breathe like proper people, like real people. But there's certainly an element of satire in High Hopes. I've always felt that the criticism of caricature in my films is misplaced, but I would have to say, if you remember the character that Timothy Spall did in Life is Sweet, Aubrey the restaurateur, he and his restaurant were just as far as you could go without it becoming caricature. I mean, it was pretty near the edge.
What's that, mate?
Nothing. Do you want a cigar, Andy?
No, thanks, mate. I don't use them.
Wendy, would you like a liqueur?
No, Ton, I'm fine.
Who's that, then?
My waitress.
What, the big girl?
Yeah.
The Aussie?
Yeah. No, Kiwi. Fuck. Got a laugh, haven't you?
What's the matter, then?
She's, let me down, you know?
There is an element of cartoon. I think that's absolutely true. And sometimes I think it may be the result of an actor taking a character and building up a character and getting so kind of invigorated and excited by the extremes of that character that they will run with it.
Have you never sat on a bus, on a tube, walked down the street and seen somebody or spoken to somebody and thought to yourself, I don't believe that person? Life is full of the most extraordinary characters.
Great bed. Orthopedic. £300.
How many does it hold? Oh, careful! Oh, dear me.
Aubrey!
All right, mate.
What are you doing, coming up for air?
What, I've lost it.
Because what I do is not naturalism. That's to say, what I'm doing is certainly not motivated by a desire just to take slabs of, undigested realness and just bung them on the screen. There are flights of fancy within the context of a real world.
He's looking at what he feels to be the state of England when he's making his films, at any rate, and indeed when he's writing his plays. And the state of England, as far as he's concerned, is, well, comic, but also rather sad.